What's up, all my fish slaying friends? It's your boy, Fishhook Terry. Today, I need your help. So I posted this photo right here on Instagram, and I'm looking for your advice on what's gonna be the best cold water lure that I can use this coming weekend in northern Michigan. I'm gonna be fishing a real cold, crystal clear lake for largemouth and some big smallmouth. And if you kind of see on my little Michigan shirt here, us Michigan people kind of use your hand to tell where you are. So I live over here and I'm gonna be fishing right up here somewhere, and about there. So up there in that little region, lakes have just unthawed. So the water is still very cold. I mean, just last week, those areas of Michigan had snow. So again, it's gonna be real cold. There's no more ice, thank goodness, but these fish are still gonna be pretty lethargic. They're gonna be moving up. Things are looking pretty good this weekend in terms of weather. I think Saturday in that region is gonna be in the maybe mid-60s, sunny, no rain, no snow, thank goodness. So it'll be a good time on the water, but I know that the fish are still going to be a little slow. They're not gonna be as aggressive. So I wanna go over some of the lures that I think are going to produce up there this weekend. I'm gonna do a video for you guys once I'm up there, kind of show what worked, what didn't work. And I'm gonna be fishing from a little John boat. I mean, it's not gonna be anything crazy. I'm going up there with my father-in-law. So it's just gonna be a little fun weekend up in this small little lake, trying to catch some big smallmouth. Again, water's gonna be cold, so I need to have the right presentation, the right lures to get them to bite. And I want your help so I can really dial in these fish. So if you're a northern Michigan guy, or you're a northern Midwestern guy, or if you're somebody who's been fishing down south when it was real cold earlier this year, I want your advice. So comment below. I'm gonna get through these lures and you let me know which ones I should choose. Maybe I missed something. Let me know. Help me catch some big Mondo smallmouth this weekend. So let's get into the lures that I believe are gonna be the major players this weekend. I'm gonna give about 5. I'm gonna use that term and that number loosely because I think there's a couple of different plays on certain lures that are gonna determine my choice for this weekend. So let's get into the first one I think is going to be key. Okay, so let's jump into the first box. It says chatterbaits. There's chatterbaits in here. I was trying to consolidate some of my goodies into my bag, but I've got some special lures in here. And if you've been checking me out on Instagram lately, some of these have been what I'm trying out for big smallies. This is a jig I'm working with Motion Fishing. I asked them to put together some really ghost-like all colored jigs. So non-painted head, like a clear weed guard, real ghost, almost neutral, nothing skirt. And I actually have this paired up with a Strike King. This is a baby menace, and this is in Glacier. So again, it's just an all very ghost-like appearance. I've got a few different ones in here. Some are a little bit of ghost with some brown kind of flake in it. Got some in here somewhere, like this guy. It's got some purple. Just give it some contrast. But I want to try these for smallies. These are all finesse jigs, and I think that this real ghost-like color might be great. And I've got this idea from some of the other very neutral gray colors that you're starting to see. There's a lot of like Seth Fighter colors out there with some of the manufacturers. And so I said, hey, let's put something together like that and let's see if it'll work. Now on jigs, one that I don't fish that often, and it's really a lure that many people used years ago, it's really coming back in popularity, is the hair jig. Now this is a VMC, this is a marabou hair jig. a lot of times they come in brown like this, white, black, real natural colors again. And both of these, I really want to work very slowly. So I might do some small hops and pops with this, really find cover and structure and try to get this finesse jig in around those places. The hair jig like this, I'm gonna bomb that thing out on light line. I want fluorocarbon, and I'm just going to let this jig move and undulate through the water. When you put water to this marabou hair, it makes it very fluid. It's a presentation that it's super natural. It looks like maybe like a leech or another type of bug. I don't know what it is truly, but big smallmouth love a hair jig. So I'm gonna try these two, and actually one other jig. I'm gonna call this a jig, even though it's not really a jig. I'm gonna call it a jig for this time of year, because I'm not gonna work it I'm not gonna put a lot of action into it, is going to be a MEGABASS Dark Sleeper. Again, this is like a swim bait, but a lot of times if you work it like a jig, cast it out, let it hit bottom, and really creep it along, that's a great way to get smoked on one of these lures. Also, you know, if fish are starting to really get a little more aggressive and move up, you can add some pops with the rod, let the lure kind of flutter off bottom. If you've ever used a dark sleeper, you know that the tail, just as it comes back down, it just flutters. It really drives big bass crazy. So for jigs as my category, again, I'm gonna use this Motion Fishing real natural color jig. We're gonna try the marabou hair, the VMC, and if all else fails, we'll go to the MEGABASS, the Dark Sleeper. I think these would be great for my jig category this weekend. So my next tasty lure that I'm gonna take up north this weekend, jerkbaits. Now, if you are a Midwestern fishing angler like I am, you know clear water, early spring, a jerkbait is hard to beat. I love throwing a jerkbait. So I actually have got 2 different boxes of jerkbaits I'm gonna take up north this weekend. And I love MEGABASS stuff, don't get me wrong. Got a whole bunch in here, of course, all tangled together. Many different MEGABASS lures, jerkbaits, these 110 Visions. Really, these MEGABASS Vision 110s have set the benchmark for what a jerkbait imitates and what it wants to be, the weight transfer system, how well they dart side to side, that erratic action. All other jerkbaits want to be that jerkbait. But a lot of my bread and butter jerkbaits aren't that jerkbait. I love throwing, might be a sleeper, a Rapala X-Wrap. This is a river perch color. Mondos have been caught on this pattern right here. That's a killer jerkbait for me. Reaches some good mid depths, has a great action to it, some really awesome colors. They hold up very well, good high quality lure. I also really like the action of Duo Realis jerkbaits. The 110s and the 120 sizes. I've got this one swapped out with some different hooks on it, but there are some killer patterns for Duo Realis jerkbaits. I think they get overlooked, and they shouldn't. These are, if you're a jerkbait fisherman, you need to try these. And a MEGABASS jerkbait, right, is in like the $25 range, and these duos are in the $13 to $14 range, so you do save a little bit of money. They're high quality. They've got some super dope colors as well, but they're a great suspending, high action jerkbait. There are a few other jerkbaits I really like to throw. Let's see, this guy right here, actually, not this exact one, but identical color and size. If I can unhook it, is a Lucky Craft pointer. This is in a ghost minnow color. I caught my 7-pound largemouth, Michigan largemouth on one of these. Awesome color. It's got that weight transfer system in it as well. That you can hear it. It's real loud as it goes side to side as you rip it. That's a great lure. And then one of the ones that's actually, again, it's just a tremendous lure. A lot of guys throw them, as they should. If I can get these unstuck, as I hook myself probably. And last but not least for my jerkbaits, a Strike King. These KVD jerkbaits, you can get them a lot of times. I think last time I was at Bass Pro, they're on sale, usually under $7, $8-ish, under $10. These are awesome as well. Great action. KVD did some magic on these jerkbaits. Again, a fraction of the price of the MEGABASS, and they have great suspending action of what you want in a jerkbait. Some great colors as well. I like these kind of like sexy shad kind of colors. Great jerkbaits. So you have a whole slew you can choose from, and that's where I need your help. Again, I'm gonna take all this stuff up north, but if you comment below on what jerkbait I should use, I really wanna hear from you what you think might be the best one for me in this weekend. So my second lures of choice, jerkbaits. Now onto my third lure choice, lipless crankbaits. I am a giant fan of the OG, the original Mr. Bill Lewis himself. Oh my good Lord. These hooks are sticky, which is a good thing. Rattle traps, all right? I've got, you can see in this box, I've got many different colors. I love the crawl patterns. Again, depending on the lake, you might need to change it up, add a little bit of gold. You might need some browns. I mean, I've even got some of these newer matte finishes hooked together. Again, what I really like about Bill Lewis rattle traps is they come with mustad triple grips. If you've seen some of my stuff in the past, I like to swap out a lot of my hooks on cheaper lures that don't splurge on a good set of hooks. You do not need to swap these hooks out. Most of the lures that I swap my hooks to, I put mustad triple grips on them. Those are a deadly wide gap treble hook. They really stick fish. They pin them good. They're super sticky, and fish, it's hard for them to come off of that hook. So rattle traps are gonna be my third, or lipless crankbaits are gonna be my third choice for lures. I might not throw just rattle traps though. There's a few other lipless crankbaits that I will throw. One of which is another Duo Realis. Again, I think this is a lure that most guys do not throw, and that's better for me. And I'm gonna just give these secrets anyway. If you're looking for a true fish catching lipless crankbait, you've got to look at these Duo Realis. These are what? This is a G Fix. I think this is the 68. Comment below if I got that wrong, but I believe these are the 68. And I've got a whole bunch of these guys. What's so awesome about them, look how thin that thing is. These are like a bladed, it's got all sorts of stuff hooked on it still. These are almost like a blade bait in terms of how thin it is, but it's a lipless, got some cool patterns like I just showed, and these weigh in at 3/4 ounce. So you can almost spool out all of your line on your reel when you bomb one of these things. I like doing a yo-yo technique, the same as what I would do with the rattle traps. But again, this is 3/4 ounce. And let me show you a rattle trap compared. This is a 1/2 ounce rattle trap. It's almost identical. If I had a 3/4 ounce, which I think I've got one. Let's see, 3/4 ounce. Here's a 3/4 ounce. Much larger profile and you can actually see how much wider it is, how much thicker that Lipless crankbait is compared to the Duo. This is it's outstanding. That's all I can tell you. These are just incredible lipless baits. What I was saying before is I would bomb it out and rip it off the bottom. So again, if these fish are gonna be in that real cold water, real neutral, not moving a lot, I'm gonna work this with the rod tip, but I'm gonna do it real slow. So I'm gonna let it rip off the bottom, let it flutter back down. They've got, you can kind of hear in here, they've got a different sound than a traditional rattle trap. And these color patterns, this is a tule perch. You know, we don't have tule perch here in the Midwest. This is a tule perch is something you'd find out west, but it's very natural. This thing has been choked by many fish. I love this color. I'll cry if I lose this blade bait, but this is a tremendous lure. Definitely check these out. I need to cut all this line off. I don't even know why it's all on there. That's crazy. So I've got one more lipless blade bait I'm gonna try. If I get up north and it's super, super cold and those rattle traps, the Duo Realis don't work, I'm gonna try the blade bait. I'm gonna go straight Blade X. These are MEGABASS. These are what you would find in like a blade bait. They've got a real heavy head to them. So it's gonna always go nose first. And again, you're gonna rip that up, that flutter action. Again, they don't have rattles or anything in them. You're gonna be using the fish's lateral line and the movement to rip that off bottom and let it settle back down. Again, if it's cold, you're gonna want to be a little more subtle, not huge rips, but you're gonna wanna let it come off bottom and let it flutter back down. And as it's coming down, a lot of times that's when those big fish will just choke this thing. For my third lure choice, blade baits, lipless crankbaits, rolling them all together, that's gonna be my third choice for up north smallie fishing. My fourth lure for up north this weekend to get those giant smallies. I swear, these always work. Usually every year I will catch one Mondo big smallie on one of these. A Squarebill. What I really, really like throwing are these Strike King. These are the 2.5. I like the bigger profile. I do have some smaller guys in here, like the 1.5s. And those are a tremendous lure too. You know, if they're looking for the smaller profile, you can throw the 1.5. But if I can get them to choke at 2.5, this is what I like. I really like this sexy shad pattern. I've had the best luck with it. Also, this has got a bunch of lines still on it. I need to trim all this up. I feel incomplete for having such a nasty, gnarly mess with my lures. I need to trim that. But this is a great lure. If they're shallow, this actually might work really good for a big largemouth. But I'm going to try a Squarebill this weekend. And again, I'll keep going back to it. I do love MEGABASS. Can't help it. Fuzz. Look at, these are just awesome, cool profile Squarebills. I don't know if I'd throw that color this weekend. I'd be more likely to throw the Lucky Craft in the craw pattern. A Squarebill will definitely be tight on for me this weekend, targeting those real shallow, maybe break off points. If I can find some type of cover that I can actually throw this around without it getting really hung up. Squarebills are really good to rip through the tops of grass. I don't really want it to get hung up too much. The lake I'm going to doesn't have a lot of other cover. There's not many stumps or other trees or laydowns. So I'm gonna try to target either them being really shallow, like a largemouth trying to move up, like on a seawall, or really close to docks and those kind of things. Or, you know, I might fish this around some grass on a weed edge where I think those fish might be starting to come up or transition. I think that's gonna be great. Little spot for a Squarebill. So I've got a few different options for Squarebills, but that's my fourth choice for up north this weekend, smallie slaying action, a Squarebill. Okay, so my fifth and final pick for lures for this weekend. Bingo, the Omoshira screwhead paired with a MEGABASS spark shad. Now, I will say, I was dying to get my hands on this combo, this Omoshira screwhead, before last winter. These came out like late October, early November last year. I could not get out with the pontoon and put this in its place and get some use with the Omoshira screwhead. So I've been waiting however many months to get this combo at those big smallies. I'm curious what you think. Do you like having the eye on the Omoshira screwhead as well as a spark shad, or should I take that eye off? If you have an opinion on that, if you think it should stay, maybe it looks like a school of fish, or do you think it's just 4 eyes and it needs to come off? Let me know in the comments below. But this little setup right here, I'm really excited to throw. So I've got a whole bunch of different packs of these Omoshira screwheads. I've got them in 1/16 ounce, I've got them in 1/8 ounce, got them all in the colors. I've got some packs of these spark shads. These are the 3-inch. This is in the real color. This screwhead is in shad. I think these are gonna be paired up very well together. This is gonna be a great finesse technique to really make a long cast for line shy fish. I've got it with braid. I've got a 15-pound braid main line to an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. That might be a little heavy, but again, that's what I had in hand. I rigged it up, we're ready to go. I think this is gonna be my sleeper pick. I really hope that I can get some fish that have never seen this before, that again are not really active, where I can just make that long cast and just slowly retrieve this. Let that prop really do its thing, create that turbulence across the lure, get those fish really revved up and just choke this thing. So that's my fifth and final lure for this weekend. I really am gonna start with this. I hope I can catch some big fish on this setup. I'm excited to throw this and see what all the hype is about. This is gonna be my first choice this weekend. What do you think of my lure choices for this early spring smallmouth bite? Let me know in the comments below. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a thing I need to pick up and tie on for this weekend that's going to do better than any of these lures that I showed? Please let me know in the comments below. I want your opinion. I need your help. I want you to help me catch a giant smallmouth this weekend. So let me know what I should throw. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I hope you like this video. Give it a big thumbs up. You guys are the best. Follow me also on Instagram, Fishhook Terry. I will leave a link to that below as well. I'll leave some links on where you can find some of these products through the people I use. Again, if there's anything that I'm missing, please let me know in the comments below. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your support on my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a great weekend. I hope you slay some big ones too. And tight lines, everybody. Peace.